Ron DeSantis is facing his biggest test yet as a governor and a candidate for president of the United States. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video. Today, it is time that we talk about the 2024 Republican presidential primary, but take a step back from I would say the more polling side, the data side of things, because there is a serious hurricane that is hitting the state of Florida as we speak. And I think it's time we talk about Ron DeSantis, not just as a candidate, but as a governor, as he faces arguably his biggest challenge yet as both a governor and a candidate. So this isn't going to be a video bashing him, because I gotta say, DeSantis has actually been doing a great job in response to this hurricane. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, so as many of you know, I would say everybody, Hurricane Idalia has just struck the state of Florida. It made landfall this Wednesday. And again, prayers up to the citizens that are impacted by this, by everybody. I hope everybody is praying for everybody that is impacted by this. The state of Florida is getting hammered by this storm. Well, Governor DeSantis, we're not talking about the candidate, we're talking about the governor. I'm not trying to make this politically. This has always been his strongest suit. When in times of crisis and times of being a governor or an executive, this is where we really get to see what DeSantis is made of. And this is why he was always an appealing option. So let's get into it. Florida GOP governor and presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis is off the campaign trail and facing one of the biggest leadership tests of his political career at a crucial moment in the 2024 race. That's an understatement. Like, I think the race is practically over, but if he wants any hope of some kind of future, this is it. He has to be at his absolute best during a hurricane, which so far, I would say it was good. So far, his leadership during this hurricane has been effective. It's what we expect out of DeSantis. It's what everybody thinks of DeSantis as governor. Effective, he knows what he's talking about, and all of that. It's just the campaign side of things has been his struggle. But you want a reason for why people have always considered DeSantis the future? Why I did? Because the leadership he is showing right now in the state of Florida. So, of course, the Hurricane Idalia made landfall on Florida Wednesday morning as a powerful Category 3 hurricane, knocking out power to hundreds of thousands and causing dangerous flooding in parts of the storm-prone state. While it's still too early to tell how much damage the hurricane caused, DeSantis' handling in response to the natural disaster will be scrutinized by his political opponents and potential voters. I hate this. You know, again, I support Trump, but some of the people in Trump's world during this entire situation just shut up for 2 minutes. I mean, it's like, I know the DeSantis people are just lunatics, but don't stoop to the ground of hoping that this, is a major storm that hurts many people. Why would you want that? There are some people in not Trump's world or just on Twitter that you talk to these people, it's like, it seems like they want DeSantis to fail during this hurricane. Who wants that? I mean, this has always been my struggle with some of these grifters on Twitter. I'm not talking about all of them, But some of these people, just shut up. Stop talking about, well, I hope that this DeSantis is proven me a fraud during this. People are dying because of this. So we should be praying for the state of Florida and that DeSantis, I don't care if he's the main opponent to Trump or not. Pray that he actually does a good job. The stakes are always high when it comes to things like a hurricane response, said longtime Republican strategist David Kochel, a veteran of numerous GOP campaigns. There's usually more to lose than to gain, though, he's always been seen as a competent leader, so he carries those expectations with him. I think that's one of the reasons he won a landslide in 2022. Yeah. He absolutely has been seen as an effective conservative governor. That's always been his appeal. It's just always been the campaign part of DeSantis is a joke. A complete and total travesty. The public's assessment of DeSantis' stewardship over the storm will depend on what damage has occurred, said Brian Kuhn, who was in charge of Florida's Emergency Management Division under Senator Rick Scott, DeSantis' predecessor in the governor's mansion. The work could take a few days or could take a few weeks before he's ready to campaign again, he said. Which, honestly, that's for the best. Not just for the, politically, but for the state of Florida. Focus on your home state. You're going through a natural disaster like this. DeSantis and his emergency staff have been holding multiple televised press conferences a day. While appearing tired, the governor spoke in matter of factually about the hurricane's path, evacuations, school closures, and power outages that could be expected and how the state planned to respond. As he did during last year's devastating Hurricane Ian, DeSantis has so far put aside his combative tendencies and focused on the storm and its aftermath. And everything I've seen, he's done a great job, telling people, hey, if you can't get out, you have no car or whatever, their Ubers are going for free, the state's covering for it. I believe that was the thing the state was covering, or I think Uber. Somebody was paying for it. But hey, just get out of here. It's completely free. Don't worry about it. Holding conferences like every couple hours. This is what people like about DeSantis. Why he was always seen as what should have been the future of the GOP. During a hurricane briefing Wednesday morning in Tallahassee, DeSantis brushed aside a question about former President Trump not mentioning Hurricane Idalia, telling a reporter, that's not my concern. Excellent response. Don't start a political... Ignore these loser reporters that want to get their name in the paper. Just ignore them. Just say, this isn't about Trump. This isn't about anything. This is about the state of Florida. When asked how he would balance the task at hand with his presidential run, he called the response important and said, you do what you need to do. Yeah. I mean, this is where DeSantis is his most competent or his best. When he's actually dealing with issues that matter. Don't get into try to out-Trump Trump. You're not going to do that. The hurricane struck Florida at a key moment for DeSantis' campaign. The governor's seen his poll numbers slide in recent months, and has shaken up his campaign team 15 times as he attempts to gain traction in the race. It also comes just after the first GOP debate, after which DeSantis saw a surge in campaign donations and at least one poll that declared him the winner. Yeah, one. One poll out of 15. But, this is a time for DeSantis to prove, can he be an effective leader? Because at this point in time, I think especially this time around, it's done. I don't see a pathway from the nomination. I know we're not even in September yet, but you start doing the math. You start looking at, hey, what the delegate count is currently looking like. You're talking about arguably, one of the biggest political comebacks in history that he would have to make. One of the biggest reversals ever on top of that. Two things doesn't usually happen. But I think this is a good time for him to show I can be an effective leader in times of crises. This is strong leadership in times of crisis that Americans can expect from a President DeSantis. Andrew Romeo campaign spokesperson, said in a memo sent to reporters ahead of Adelia's making landfall. And I agree. DeSantis generally received high marks for how he managed the state during last year's Hurricane Ian, one of the worst storms in U.S. history that left more than 140 people dead and caused billions of dollars in damage. Though DeSantis was forced to defend late local evacuation orders in certain areas, he put aside his usual combative nature and gave frequent updates and traveled the state to survey the damage. AKA, he's being himself. He's acting like I am the quiet, or I would say quiet, but I'm the governor that's just giving you the facts. I'm not trying to be Trump 2.0. I'm trying to be my own person and be effective. I would say that he has everything I've seen. He's done a good job. Now, how much will this impact the race? And again, I'm not trying to get into that much. I don't think it's going to change that much this cycle. But for the future, I mean, this is a must. He cannot screw this up. And I'm hoping he doesn't. I'm hoping that he has a perfect response. Hopefully the state of Florida can rebuild ASAP. I can care less if he's a main opponent to Trump for the primary. I can care less. This is a state with millions of citizens of the United States of America. I can care less if DeSantis is a rhino or not. We should be praying that he does a good job at handling this hurricane. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below. Subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you all so much for watching. Godspeed to all of you.